Oh, howdy all, grab yourselves a beer, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Today I wanted to give an update on how my Ignite Proliferation Fireball Trickster is going, and run a map and give you a quick sense as to just how it feels like when it's playing. So I've got a tier 11 waterways ready to go, but firstly I recommended before the league, I've always recommended to people since the Divination card Vanity was added to the game, that if you're going to go for an early Tabula Rasa in a trade league, that you turn in a set of Vanity, not a set of Humility. And as you can see, I followed my own advice and I got very lucky. I only turned in one set of Vanity, and I got what is probably the second or the best or second best corruption possible for me. So I'm probably going to use this +2 Tabula for a long time. I traded for a level 15 Vaal Fireball, 15 quality Vaal Fireball, which again I'm likely to use for a while. I picked up a Searing Touch in trade, and I actually 5-linked it by chance. Like I was just I threw some Jeweler's Orbs on it so that I had something in case I came across a 6-link craft in the Harvest content. I haven't had that happen to me yet, but I did 5-link this just by throwing enough fusings on it. I thought I'm not going to roll over it once it goes 4-link, and then I ended up getting a 5-link. Everything else is absolute trash. You know, like that's just the most rubbish life and resist ring. The only reason I'm still using it is because it's got life on it. Likewise, this is bad as well. Everything else is total garbage. All my gear is in those 2 pieces. Anyway, so let's just run this tier 11 map. I'm level 87 at the moment, and which is interesting. It's not high enough to be on the top 15,000 leaderboards for the league. There are already 5 level 100s, and you need to be in the top 15,000 by XP, you need to be most of the way to 88. Which I'm not, because I play too reckless. Got a Blight here. These have been fun. In terms of deviations that I've made from the build, I have decided to go with Fork to test it out, rather than Greater Multiple Projectiles as I'd originally planned. That's the only significant change. Speed up the Blight. Get lots of tower damage as well as all of the as well as everything else. I'm using Dash as a move skill and I hate it. That's not staying in place. I know some of you like it, but I feel I've tried it and it is not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I've been really starved on Alchemy Orbs this league. Even though I am using the Harvest Crafts to fill in for them, but I need so many of them to buy Zana's maps. Every time Zana's shop resets, she'll have a whole bunch of maps that she'll sell me, and at the moment I'm buying everything I don't have, and that's a lot. So on Fireball's mechanics, when you fire a projectile from long range, the Fireball explodes. That means that it hits a lot of nearby enemies and immediately ignites them. This is good for this build. This is really good. Like had that Fireball been close range, it would have had less of an explosion at the end. That's really solid for projecting damage, because you can just fire things from screens away. I do sometimes get in trouble because I don't yet have a bleed immunity flask. This can't remain the case, but you know, I play reckless when I'm in level 80 to when I'm under level 90. I really don't care about how many times the character dies. This is softcore after all. Veritania's trash are nasty, especially the ones that fire the long range long-range shots that chill you. You'll notice there I had a bit of trouble getting hitting that fast-moving chimeral there. That's one of the weaknesses of Fork over using GMP. Fork definitely projects damage to packs really well, and I'm liking it, but it does have a serious weakness. When I can afford a Dying Sun, which hasn't happened yet, there's just not that many of them in the league, but when I can afford one, that's going to be my plan. So I'll use Dying Sun and continue using Fork. No GMP, no Awakened GMP. However, for heavy bossing, I will drop Fork support, and I will instead use something else that's more damage oriented. Swift Affliction is the gem I'm thinking of, so they're both green. I just took that was very close to death there, even though my hit points never fell low at all. I made a mistake and underestimated that pack. I got chilled and don't think I had a flask available to break that. Yeah, I was very close to getting killed. You'll notice that those enemies that have nearby allies can't die are a breeze on this build, because you often hit the source of the allies can't die effect. Alright, now we're going to get to a boss. Bossing wise, I actually do have most of my damage already. There's space for more damage. I don't have any of the Shaper gear or the Warlord gear that adds fire damage over time multiplier. I've only got one blowback cluster jewel, but the damage is adequate, but it's not extraordinary. However, it's a very safe playstyle in effect, where you can just turn the corner, throw in a couple of tactical nukes, and then you can just actively dodge, because for 5 or 6 seconds the thing's going to be burning. This boss has mechanics I've never been able to work out. What it is that protects him, like, as long as one of the trash is up, I know you can't hurt him, but sometimes there's something else that prevents you hurting him as well. And I think that's probably about it. No, he's still not dead yet. Alright, there he goes. Okay, so hopefully that gives a bit of a sense as to how this build is playing. In terms of the rest of my league, I've been turning in some of the high variance divination cards, and I've had some monster hits, I think. So if I go down, I'm asking high prices because I'm quite happy to sit on these for a while until people have the currency to afford them. This is a monster, triple red, triple green, Vaal Pact, Skin of the Lords. It cost me 7 chaos to source the divination cards for that. The divination card, The Chosen, is really good. This isn't as good. Resolute Technique actually doesn't matter because those are spellcaster colours. So the way that I see this is that it is a 5 blue, 1 green Skin of the Loyal, basically, that's not corruptible. And yeah, Resolute Technique doesn't have any drawbacks in that situation. This shouldn't be in a 4x tab though. It should be, in fact, I might just move it to a 30C tab and see what happens. It's my 28C tab now. Then we have this monster. I turned in a set of my divination card, the Price of Loyalty, and picked up this 2 damage setup with triple red, double blue, single green. That's one of the sort of monster hits that you turn in Price of Loyalty hoping to get. I'm not exactly certain what sort of elemental attack build wants that, but it will be some sort of elemental attack build. But because it's something that's irreplaceable, I'm putting a ridiculously high price on it. I'd come down to a Mirror Shard at the moment, or even a Doctor, but that's basically the big hits that I've had, and they essentially are where my wealth is in the league at the moment. You'll see that everything else here is looking pretty sparse, but otherwise I'm happy with how it's going. The next goals are to replace some of these rubbish pieces of equipment, some of which I've been using since oh god, that was level 35. Why did I throw my Eternal Lab enchant on that, even if it was rubbish? Some of this total and utter rubbish gear that's in all the other slots needs to go, and the next time I log on, that's going to be my goal. Anyways, in terms of performance on other content, the Eternal Labyrinth went down just fine. Izaro sort of melts with this setup. It's not like he's totally one tap Fireball and he's dead before the Fireball finishes, but he was dead fast. And that was on a pretty difficult Eternal Labyrinth day as well. Then Blighted Maps have been a bit of fun. I was running Blighted Maps before I had the 6-link, and I succeeded at them with a 5-link, so that was fine. That's the low tier ones. I feel like I could probably get away with running upper yellow or lower red tier Blighted Maps, but it's a bit dicey. If you've got any comments or questions, fire away. Otherwise, leaving it there. I hope you have a good one.